The header status tab will give you what is the status of that particular specification. Okay, for example, for this 815 specification, I can see that the header status is active, which means currently this specification is under usage, or you can use this specification. If you want to use, you can go ahead and use this specification. But there is another status here called as obsolete. What is the meaning of obsolete?
It's not being used anymore.
Yeah, it is not being used anymore, or it is not available now, outdated, all that. You can give any name you want. It was available sometime back, but now it's no longer available. Like what example can I give? I cannot give the example of mobile phone because even now we are using that old Nokia one. Even now they are available. Okay. Yeah, pager. Okay,
Example
fine.
is DDT. DDT.
DDT, what is that?
That chemical was being used on the crops as a fertilizer, so as a
Okay.
pesticide.
Okay.
But now it is not allowed to use, so it's obsolete
No,
now.
for that the word will be different. It is not obsolete. Obsolete means there is no harm if you use. Okay, but if the government or any regulatory body has banned that material, then we don't call it as obsolete. We have to call it as banned. There is a difference. Obsolete means you can use it if you want, but it is no longer available. Okay, maybe it is good. I'm not saying that always bad things are only become obsolete. It's not the case. It was available, but now we don't have it. We don't get that. But DDT example is not coming under obsolete. It is a banned material. Banned. For this obsolete example, I can give the example of pager. Earlier, everybody were using pager, most of them, because there were no mobile phones. Now, do you see anybody using pager? Because it has become
Oh.
obsolete. The device has become obsolete. Similarly, I don't know what other example to give. Maybe cordless phone. I can tell that as well. At least as far as I see, nobody is using the cordless phone. So it has become obsolete. Okay, so that is the meaning of obsolete. So any specification which is no longer being used, you have to change the status as obsolete. But again, please remember, once you make any specification as obsolete, again you cannot reuse. It will become completely redundant, or it will become useless. You cannot use it again. So therefore, if at all you want to change the status of your header tab, then just ensure that you will not be requiring that specification in the future and you are making it redundant. Only after confirming that you have to change. But otherwise leave it active itself, no problem. There are thousands of specifications, so even this will be there. Right, that is called as a header status tab. You can change the status of the header either as active or obsolete. Active or inactive, like that also I can say. Active, inactive. Very simple. Next, very similar to that, we have another status tab. Header status is different. Here I am speaking about the status tab. Do you know how many different statuses are applicable for a specification? Header status tab, I told you. Next is status tab. How many statuses are there for any specification? One is in process. Total there are three. The first one is in process. Second status we have called for release. Okay, FR. The third one is called as released. The third one is called as released. So when I say in process, what does it mean? This is the first status for a specification. In process.
Means it is not completed, which some
Ah,
data are still missing.
yeah. The data in the specification is not yet completed. It means you are still in the process. You are adding the data into the specification. It is not yet complete. So therefore, such a specification will you have to keep the status as in process or under progress, under construction, whatever you call. The data in the specification is not yet completed, and hence the specification is not uh, released, or the specification cannot be used by SAP users. Okay, you got this? In process, let's say they are constructing a bridge. It is still under progress. You cannot drive your vehicle over that bridge because it is still under construction. Once they declare it that it is fit to be used, then that is fine. But until then, you have to keep it as in process. It will be in process. Same way, when you are creating a specification, until and unless you add all the data into that specification, it will be in process. And therefore, you cannot use that specification for either your risk assessment or for generating reports. For all those applications, you cannot use that specification because it is in process. Second status is called for release. What is for release status?
Not yet released, but it is ready to release.
Okay, but why you can release it if it is ready?
It is in the buffer. It's not to be picked up.
See, in
Maybe
process I
it has
told you.
been
Huh.
sent to release procedure, means for some higher management approval and all.
Yes, sir. Higher management approval or to do recheck whether it is completely ready to release.
The data is completed in this status.
Data is completed, yes.
Okay.
It is at the buffer, ready to be
Okay.
released.
Yeah. So you are saying that this specification will have all the data updated. There will be nothing pending from the data side. But you have still not yet decided to release that specification. You are just keeping it on hold. The reason could be anything. Yeah, like you told, maybe you want to take the approval from the management, or maybe you want to release it on a particular date. A reason could be anything. But here you are just holding that specification, you are putting it on hold, like on standby. You have the first red signal. From red signal, it will go to the orange signal. In the orange, it means you have to get ready. That is the meaning. Otherwise, simply we can use two. No, we can use red and green. Two are fine. But why we need the orange? Because it tells you just get ready. It is about to be turning again to red or green. So it's an intermediate state. Intermediate. So in your specification, the entire data will be released, but the data will be completed, but it will not yet be released because you are putting it on hold. Another example, if I have to give you, let's say after the construction of flyover or after the construction of metro line, metro station, normally they don't allow the public to start using that facility as soon as it is completed. Okay, especially you might have seen this flyovers or any highways or maybe your metro stations. They don't, though the work is completed, though testing and everything is done, but they don't allow the public to start using. But why? Is it not fair that public should start using the facility? What are you waiting for?
Safety checks.
Hmm?
Safety checks.
That is also done.
Then some politician is waiting.
Yeah, you have to inaugurate it. You have to call the politician, he has to inaugurate, and then it is released for public. So until then, you will just put it on hold. Right? It happens in all the cases, whether it's a flyover or highway or metro station, whatever public facility, you will wait for the inauguration, then you are going to hand over. Same thing happens here. In the for release status, the data is completed. In a specification, but it is not yet released. But it is not yet released for active usage. Right, because they want to release it on a particular date. They have a date in mind and they want to release it on that particular date. So until then, your specification will be in the for release status. And the third one, released. What happens in released? The data is completed in the specification and now it is released, for active usage by SAP users. Okay, you are getting my point. In process means still you are adding the data. In such a state, no SAP user is allowed to use that specification, neither can they generate the report. They are not allowed to generate the report and they are not allowed to use that specification. In the second status for release, the data will be completed in that specification, but still they cannot use it actively or they cannot generate reports still. It is on hold. And also further, it is not recommended to change any data when a specification is in for release. Okay, so that is your for release status. In release status, the data is completed in the specification as well as it is released to be used by the SAP users. They can generate the reports if they want, they can use the specification data wherever they need. It is released. So these are the three status. Now apart from this
what is the meaning of generating a report?
I will tell that later.
Okay.
See, why you are creating this data, MSDS data, if you are maintaining here, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of this? Why are we maintaining MSDS data here? What are we going to do with that?
So that somebody will be able to use it when required.
Yeah, how they will use it?
Using the SAP.
If we deliver the dangerous goods material, or along with that, we must have to submit this, or we have to keep it with that material, MSDS report.
Yes, MSDS report. You have to take a printout and you have to provide the MSDS also along with your product. So how will you give that? In the hard copy format, if you have to give MSDS, how will you give? You have to generate a report first. Right? In MS format, MS Word format, you have to generate the data in the report format, take a printout and then you have to share it.
Yes.
So that is why I say for generating report. That is the meaning.
Okay.
Yeah. And apart from those status, you can see here in the status tab, we have rating and validity area. Where else did you see these two options?
In
restriction
tab.
In the restriction tab. Okay, what was the purpose of this in the restriction tab?
Means for which area this particular specification will be validated.
Region. Region we have selected, no sir, validity area, region,
So
country.
for which area or which region this particular specification is validated?
Okay. Which data? They
which
can
area?
only They can
Which
only
area
access.
it is accessible?
Yeah, not only area. A rating means what? It can be customers, officials, right? Public, internal. That is also a rating only, no?
Yes.
So in the restriction tab, when we have used rating and validity area, that will tell me who can access my specification header data. Only this, only specification header data. If I add here customer and then let's say region, I'll select. Okay, and here I'll put India. So now this is telling me my customers from India have the ability or they have the access to go to specification header data. Very simple. And I am again and again repeating, it is only about specification header data. I am not saying MSDS. So these customers from India will be able to access specification header data. Now same thing, rating and validity area is also present here in the status tab. Why they have given again? Rating and validity area, again same thing. See, if I go to the rating, I will get same customers, public or officials or internals, like that. What is the purpose of this?
Let us we get to see who all are can access this data or see this data.
It is
That is
already
the
there.
same
No?
as the-
Here we can put the date of validity, means on what, in which period this is valid for this particular person, is like customer and all, rating and all. And
No.
in restrictions, we are only just putting the
Hmm.
ratings
Hmm.
for which it is validated.
Okay, tell me one thing. Who can see this MSDS data? Who are the people that can browse through this MSDS data? Do you know?
all the SAP users of that organization.
Uh,
Where
Safety
I'm
officer.
telling that? Where I'm telling that? Where I'm declaring that?
In property tree.
In property tree. See, in the
Okay, okay. In
restriction.
restriction, it's in restrictions.
No. You did not get my point. In restriction, whatever rating and validity area I'm adding, these people can only see the specification header data. They cannot access
Okay.
MSDS.
Okay.
That is why I'm repeating again and again. But in the status tab, whichever rating and validity area you add, those SAP users can see both specification header data as well as your MSDS data. They can access both this information.
They can
But the
access all the property trees.
yeah, all the property trees including MSDS.
Okay.
Okay, now you got the point. The people, the
Yes.
SAP users in restriction tab can only display specification header data. But the rating and validity area that I put here in the status tab, they can see not only your specification header data but also MSDS data or any property tree data. They have access to both. Okay, that is why they have given rating and validity area in the status tab. So for example, okay, let me select here again same customers. But in the validity area, I will select region world. Region, and here validity area I will select as region world. So tell me what happens now if I add this. Region world. Yeah. And not only that, I can also assign the status as in process because that is the first status. Okay, tell me what happens now. I have added rating customer. validity area region world, and status as in process. So in combination, what do you think? How do you give the meaning to this?
Customers from all over the world will be able to access the property trees
Okay,
and specification header.
and specification header data. Okay, if that is the case, then tell me one thing. Here also in restriction tab also I have added customers, right, as a rating. So does it make any difference now? Here also in the restriction tab I have customers. Okay, validity area is India, fine, but here we have the rating as customer from India. In the status tab we have again customers, but they are from entire world. So what is the difference now?
Usually, it both will be same. It should be same in both tabs. Uh, maybe system will not allow if we maintain some different in restriction tab and some different in status tab.
It will
It
not
should be.
allow.
No, I guess.
I have saved here. I didn't get any error message. See, purposely I am asking. I am just trying to confuse you people. Until and unless you don't get confused, you will not understand.
The restrictions are only applicable for specification header and status is only applicable for the property trees.
No, a status tab is applicable both for specification header as well as your property trees. What I told, the SAP users in the status tab can access specification header data and MSDS data, no?
Sir, but there customer can access, but here status we have mentioned in process. So the data in the specification not yet completed. So customer will get access, but currently they don't have.
See, okay, for some time leave out status tab. Just forget this. You just concentrate on rating and validity area. Forget about status. Yeah, now what do you understand?
So here customer from India able to access specification header. When you go to specification header, sir, India alone, but here and they can able to access like all over the world for this material safety data sheet.
Okay, but remember one thing, is not India part of region world? Is India not part of world? You mean?
Yes, it
Yes,
is a part of.
part of world.
It is a part of the world. See, if I had changed it, let's say I will make some changes now. Okay.
No, but there you have mentioned only India, but here all over the world.
Yeah, I have mentioned India, but this condition will be overridden in the status tab. There is no use in the restriction tab. Even if I have put India, there is no use because in the status tab, again I am selecting customer and I am giving the region world, entire world as the validity area. So it doesn't matter whether I add here customer and India validity area, nothing is going to change. So even the customer from India will be able to access specification header data as well as MSDS data. Why? Because India is a subset or India is a part of region world. If India was not part of world, then yeah, the customer from India could not access MSDS. They can only see the specification header data. But that is not the case, no. Even India is part of world. So how can I say that they cannot access MSDS data? Okay, so what I'll do now, I will just change this. Instead of India here, I will put region world. Okay, and in the status tab, I will change this to India. Okay, see now in the rating, again I'll select customer. validity area is region, and now validity area is what? India. Validity area is India. Status, of course, we'll just put it as in process. Okay, and I will save the data. Now, do you think there is any difference?
Yes, sir.
What is the difference?
So at that time, the only Indian customer can access the specification header data and as well as material safety data sheet.
Okay, very good. And what about other customers?
Other customers cannot access the two data. They can only access specification header data.
Yeah, exactly. So see, now the situation has changed. Okay, now the situation is changed. In the restriction tab, I am saying the customers from around the world, they can access the specification header data. Okay, only this data. But when I go to status tab, here what I am doing, I am simply adding customer again, and I am adding the validity area as India. So according to this condition, the customers who are in the validity area India, they can access specification header data as well as your MSDS data, both. But customers are there in other countries also, no? So what about them? The customers from other parts of the world will only be able to access specification header data. Why? Because in the restriction tab I have put region world as the validity area for my customers. It means all the customers can access specification header data without exception. But in the status tab I am giving a special privilege for the Indian customers that they can access MSDS data along with the specification header data. That is how it is different. Did you understand? Still any confusion?
Where where it is mentioned, miss, it will be accessible for MSDS also. Is how we can consider.
You have to go to SAP website and there you check out. Because here nowhere they are saying. Here in the software nowhere they are saying. If you want you can refer to the notes also, most probably it will be there, where they say that in the status tab whatever rating you are adding, those SAP users can access both specification header data and the MSDs. So you have to refer to the SAP notes
Uh,
or material.
Okay, no, just I wanted to ask, Miss, like we haven't click on MSDS, Miss property tree, and it's like
No, no
that's
need to click, no need to click, nothing,
mm,
not required.
mm.
And it is not only about MSDS. All the property trees
What?
under this specification, they will be accessible to customers from India. I am just giving
Okay,
example because currently MSDS is open.
okay,
Okay, it's not only for material safety data sheet. They can access other property trees also. No problem.
okay.
Hmm. Okay, guys, are you clear so far? Little confusing, I know. That is why I told you specification management is a very tough concept. But I hope you are able to follow me because I'm going extremely slow at this stage. Okay, let me make one more change. Now what I'll do is I'll remove this customer. Instead of customer, I will put public, and validity area will be as it is, region world. Okay, so I will go to status tab now, and in status tab I'll remove this customer option. Remove customer. Instead of customer, I'll add here rating as let's say official. Okay, and again region, and here India. Right? So see, now I have made some changes. In my restriction tab, I have selected the option as public and validity area is region world. But in my status tab, I have selected the rating as official and validity area is India. So now tell me who can see what data? let's start from restriction tab.
Specification header will be visible to public all around the world. However, property trees will be only available to the officials from India.
Only property tree?
All the property trees. And
Okay.
specification header.
And specification header. Okay. That is fine. Now what has happened? See, in the restriction tab, I have selected public. Do you know who all will come under public rating?
All customers, all officials, everybody.
Yeah, including officials, including customers, internal, everybody, even suppliers. Everybody will come under public rating. Okay, so anybody who has access to my particular SAP system can see the specification header data because I'm making it public, released without restriction. Released without restriction. But in the status tab, what I'm doing, I'm adding here rating as official and that to validity area India. So this particular MSDS data or property tree data plus specification header data is only available for authorities who are from India. Other people cannot see this MSDS data. Okay, internal people also cannot see, customers also cannot see. It is not for everybody. Only I am giving access to the officials or authorities who are from India. The remaining people can see only specification header data. Are you getting what I am trying to say? Or should I give some other example?
Yeah.
Kavita, are you following? And Abhiram?
Understand, sir.
A little difficult, I know. But you have to again practice whatever I'm saying, you have to practice it. Okay, fine. Let me give you some other example. Just imagine there is a college. In that college, if you want to enter the college, it is mandatory that you have to show your ID card. Okay, just to enter the college, you need to show your ID card. But anybody, any student or even the working staff, lecturers, professors, everybody can go to the college because they have the ID card. Right? So just compare that with your public. Okay, it is open for public. But if you want to go to a particular department, let's say you want to go to the computer science section, you want to go to the computer science lab. Do you think everybody who entered the gate, are they allowed to go to the CS lab?
We'll check only computer lab entry.
Exactly. They will check the student belongs to which branch. If the student belongs to CS branch, only then they will allow you into the computer lab. Not everybody. If there is a mechanical guy, mechanical student, do you think they will allow? Probably not. Or if the student is from a civil engineering branch, they will not allow him. So that is what you can compare here in the status tab. In status tab, I am specifying only authorities, and that too only from the validity area India. Only they can access the MSDS data. So this is like a computer lab, this property tree, and this part of the data can be accessed only by these people. I am making it more stricter. I am controlling it at a second level. Right? You got my point? If you did not understand, please ask me. Don't hesitate.
So I have one question. If the officials are not using SAP, then they will be able to access the data?
No, they will not be able to access. You have to share the data by other means. Maybe like you have to write an email and share the data, or you have to authenticate in another file as an attachment you have to send.
Okay, so they have to have SAP login ID to access this one.
Yeah, at their end, of course, they have to have a SAP established in their organization. Only
Okay,
then
okay.
they can use SAP system and connect to this data. Otherwise, they cannot.
And for example, desulfurization unit operational data we have to share with MPCB. Will this help in this case?
If they are not using SAP, you have to generate a report, MSDS report, and that report you have to attach it with an email and you have to send.
Okay, okay, okay.
See, these conditions are applicable only when the other party is using the SAP system. Otherwise, it's not possible.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's like that. Both are using
Eh,
SAP
if-
and I am
uh-huh.
authorizing them to use my system data or to access my system data. If they are not
Okay,
using, then
okay.
it's not possible.
So if you have selected public for specific specific header data for public,
Hmm.
and I'm working in Sun Pharmaceutical, and will this data be accessible to let's say some other pharmaceutical, US Vitamin?
No, that company is a different company, no, altogether. And first of all, it's a different company and he is a competitor, let's say, for example. Then, of course, they cannot even touch my SAP system because they are somebody else, they are unknown, unauthorized.
But officials are not part of Sun Pharmaceutical.
I am authorizing, no, I am authorizing here.
Okay.
See, how should I tell you?
Officials belong to government, right?
Yeah, they belong to the government, and if they are using SAP system, I have to allow them to access my data. But who is Sun Pharmaceutical? That is another company. Why will I allow them to access my data?
But if I have selected public,
Listen. If Sun Pharmaceutical belong to the category of your customers, then I can allow.
okay.
If they are my customers, if I am supplying some product to them, yeah, they belong to the customer category, then I can allow them to access my data. But if Sun Pharmaceutical is a completely unknown entity, why will I allow them? Just because they have
What is the
SAP
meaning of
system?
public? Public in this case.
Public
Who
means
is public?
see, public means it's not like somebody walking on the street. Public means not that in SAP terms. In SAP terms, public means everybody inclusive. That means including customers, including internal people, including officials. All these people, instead of providing them access separately, I am making it public. So public means please don't think it is like a public library. It's not that. In SAP, public means all these individual group of SAP users are combined together. I am giving access to everybody. But Sun Pharmaceutical, are they my customers? See, first of all, you have to ask this question. Are they officials? Are they my customers? Are they my internal
In,
people? Who are they?
in my case, if I am a Torrent Pharmaceutical, let's say I'm Torrent Pharmaceutical, and I want to give access to Sun Pharmaceutical, can I give them access?
But how, why will you give? I mean, there should be some logic behind that. That is why I'm asking you, are they your customers? First define that. What are they? What are Sun Pharmaceutical in relation to Torrent Pharma? What are they? Customers?
No, they are competitors.
Then why will you give the access data to them? If I am manufacturing some pharma product, as a Torrent Pharma, I am manufacturing some pharma product. And I am supplying those pharma product to Sun Pharmaceutical. Then they are my customers, right? In relationship, they are my customers. Then, of course,
Okay.
I will go to the restriction tab or I will go to the status tab. I can give access to them. Understandable. But if they are your
Uh,
competitor or somebody unknown third party, will you give? Will you
no,
give
no,
your
no.
home key to some unknown person?
No. I will definitely not give them, but it is possible, right? If I want to.
It is possible, but you have to define. Yeah,
Okay.
you can give, but first of all, you have to consider them as your customers. You have to see in the background some technical stuff is also going to happen. They have to go and define the access to those SAP users, and you have to create a rating for them. Then you can give access here. So there is some
Uh,
technical thing also happening in the background.
let's say I am using a common effluent treatment plant with them.
Sorry.
For example, I'm using a common effluent treatment plant with them.
Hmm.
So I want to share some data with them related to the effluents.
Hmm.
In that case, I can share that.
Yeah, if at all you are comfortable, you have the approval from your top management, then that you can share so and so data with the Sun Pharma. Yes, you can do. Go ahead because you have the approval.
Okay. Got it.
But in the background, you have to collect their SAP user IDs. You have to create a group just like this rating. You see this official,
Okay.
it is a group. You have to create a group for Sun Pharmaceutical employees, and then you have to come here and then you have to add the rating and validity area. It can be done, possible. I'm not saying absolutely not possible, but there should be some logical reason behind that. Otherwise, you should not do. And in SAP, please again remember, guys, public means not everybody, not the entire world. Public actually means customers, internal employees, or officials, whoever there are separate groups. No, combine them together. We call it as public. Not somebody walking on the road. That will not be counted as a public. Or some competitor. You cannot count them as your people belonging to public. No. Okay, so don't get confused. Okay, if you any doubts again, please let me know. Is it clear so far?
Yes, this public concept is clear.
Yes.
Okay, if that is the case, now tell me, I want to provide access to customers from around the world and they should be able to access specification header data and this MSDS data or property tree data. I want to allow only my company employees or internal people from the company from plant, let's say 1. How can I do that?
In restriction, I will give access to all customers, and in status, I will give access to plant one.
Okay, tell me how.
Can you repeat
Section.
the question once, sir?
Yeah, I'm actually saying I want to give access to all the customers from around the world to access specification header data. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but this specification header data and property tree data, I want to allow access only to the internal employees of the company from plant 1. So how should I configure this?
None to one.
So first customer, select customer,
Rating.
Okay.
enter
Region.
region,
Okay.
Reg word.
region, world.
Okay. Done.
And in status tab, whatever plan is like, there is one group for plant one.
Hmm. I have to go to rating first, right? So I will go to rating. In rating, check what all you have. We have internal also, for example, for internal use only. Means only employees can access that data. So I will select rating as internal.
Then Validity area category.
Okay. In validity area category, what should I select? Okay, let me show
Access
you options.
plant.
Yeah, we have to select plant because I want to give access to these internal employees who belong to a particular plant. So now if I go to validity area, you will not get countries and all. Here you will get only the plants. So see, if you access validity area, you have plant 1, plant 3000, Wichita, Juarez and all plants. So what should I select here?
And one.
Plant 1. Right? Now select the status in process and save the data. So what has happened? What we have done now?
Means the access of specification and MSDS is only with internal employee of plant 1,
Okay.
and specification access is open for all world
Specification header access.
header
Specification
access.
header data is only applicable to the customer from around the world. Okay, like that you have to repeat it by using different combinations for restriction tab and status tab. But remember one thing, see, if I add here customer and region world, again if I go to status tab, I will add here customer and region world. So what will happen in such a case? In both same, in restriction also customer region world, and status tab also customer and region world. What will happen?
From the region world will be available to access specification header and property tree.
Yeah, of course. So there is no use whether you add the restriction or not, because in the status tab I am already again adding customer and region world. So this will be given precedence. So whatever in the status tab you are maintaining, no, that will be given higher precedence. So the customers from around the world will be able to access specification header data as well as your MSDS data, irrespective what you are maintaining in the restriction tab. It is as good as nothing is here. Okay, as good as nothing is here, because it is the same rating and validity area in both the places. So what does it matter what I put in the restriction tab? Understood, or should I repeat? See now, okay, let me add rating. Okay, save this data. Now if you observe, rating is customer and validity area is world in the status tab, and same rating and validity area in the restriction tab also. So what will happen now?
Uh, it will be accessible for maybe means customer of from the region world can access the specific header data and MSDS.
Okay. So there is no use of adding here, right? What is the use then? Adding in the restriction tab.
Only mentioning his status is also sufficient.
Yeah, only status tab is sufficient in that case, because rating and validity area are same in the status tab and in the restriction tab. So it is better not to maintain again here. It's just a waste of time, because by default whatever you add in the status tab those SAP users can access specification header data and MSDS. So what is the point? Whether you add here or not, it doesn't make any difference. But yeah, instead of customer, let's say if it was something else, maybe like official, for example, then that is a different case. Now we are allowing only officials to access specification header data, whereas my customers can access specification header data and the property tree. So there is a difference now, because here I'm adding official as rating. In the status tab we have customer as the rating. So now the case has changed. But even in the restriction tab, if you are putting customer here, that is no use. Right? You are getting me?
Yes.
You have to practice a lot. Whatever I have told, at least regarding the status tab, you have to compare it. What happens in restriction tab, what happens in status tab, what happens if I select a different set of rating and validity area in the restriction tab, what will happen when I add the rating and validity area in the status tab. Because here there is a multiple combinations. Official is also there, customer is also there, public is also there, region world is there, or specific country is there. So because of these, there are multiple options or combinations are many. Okay, I hope to some extent you have understood. Anyways, you go through the recording again, it will be much clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, clear guys? Specification header tab, we have seen restrictions tab, identifiers, all this they will ask you in the interview. So why I am giving so much importance? Because in the interview they will ask all such things. Material assignment tab we have seen, status tab we have seen, header status tab. Now we are left with references and relationship tab. Does anybody know what is the meaning of references? What is the meaning of references or referencing?
Referencing means we can put a reference of some specification to copy the data. Means while creating specification, if we put a reference of any specification, the data from that particular specification means like property data will copy
Yeah.
to the specification.
Okay, why do we have to do that? I think this is stuck here. Yeah.
Sometimes specification with similar nature means